life and in your business so that you can produce an incredible outcome for yourself and your family by being a first mover, because that's what you are. You are a first mover in this program. So I want to get your mindset right before we. Now I want to take you through this special presentation called the 13 Secret Shifts to AI Wealth in 2026 and beyond. This is how to learn, leverage, and launch AI in your life and in your business so that you can produce an incredible outcome for yourself and your family by being a first mover, because that's what you are. You are a first mover in this program. So I want to get your mindset right before we program you and equip you and arm you to go ahead and launch this powerful weapon in your life and your business. So I'm going to share with you a concept that I call AI industrialism. The Industrial Revolution had many, many, many millionaires and multimillionaires and now billionaires because some people saw what was coming in the Industrial Revolution and took quick action. And they built the infrastructure. They built the train tracks. They built the factories. They built the machines. They built the engines. They harnessed the power and moved first. The future belongs to those who move first. You're going to hear me say, launch and iterate. Do not perfect and procrastinate. So to teach you a little bit about AI industrialism, I'm going to share this by my grandmother and my grandfather, John Manning and Anna Mae Manning. I know their first and last name because I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandparents. They were incredible. I lost my granddad early in my life, but my grandmother lived with us in our house until I was almost in college, and I have such great memories of her. But let me ask you a question. You probably know the first and last name of your grandparents, but do you know the first and last name of your great-grandparents? I don't. I know the last name was Levy and Fitzgerald on both. Now I want to take you through this special presentation called the 13 Secret Shifts to AI Wealth in 2026 and beyond. This is how to learn, leverage, and launch AI in your life and in your business so that you can produce an incredible outcome for yourself and your family by being a first mover. You are a first mover in this program. So I want to get your mindset right before we program you and equip you and arm you to go ahead and launch this powerful weapon in your life and your business. So I'm going to share with you a concept that I call AI industrialism. All right. The Industrial Revolution had many, many, many millionaires and multimillionaires and now billionaires because some people saw what was coming in the Industrial Revolution and took quick action. And they built the infrastructure. They built the train tracks. They built the factories. They built the machines. They built the engines. They harnessed the power and moved first. The future belongs to those who move first. You're going to hear me say, launch and iterate. Do not perfect and procrastinate. So to teach you a little bit about AI industrialism, I'm going to share this by my grandmother and my grandfather, John Manning and Anna Mae Manning. I know their first and last name because I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandparents. They were incredible. I lost my granddad early in my life, but my grandmother lived with us in our house until I was almost in college, and I have such great memories of her. But let me ask you a question. You probably know the first and last name of your grandparents, but do you know the first and last name of your great-grandparents? I don't. I know the last name was Levy and Fitzgerald on both sides, but I don't know their first names because I'm just not familiar with them. I don't know much about their history. I don't even know what they did, right? But I'm going to show you 3 examples of people who will know these people as their grandfather, great-great-grandfather, or great-great-grandfather because they created a legacy. These are the industrialists. Let's start with the first one here. This is a great story I love to tell about industrialism by a guy named Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos was working in Wall Street in the financial area. He had a big job, executive level positions, one that you would dream of. And one day he's walking with his mentor and he has this idea to create this online bookstore called Amazon. And the guy's looking at him. He's like, Jeff, are you out of your mind? Like, I get it. The internet is kind of cool, kind of funky, but you have like one of the best jobs anyone could ever hope for. Why would you want to risk it all doing something that might not work? So this is where Jeff talked about what's called the regret minimization framework. He said, I could picture myself on my deathbed in my 90s, looking at a life that I lived and know that I had an opportunity to get in on the internet and online commerce before anyone else. I would have regretted it for all my days. It would have been my greatest regret. So the point being is you don't want to have regret in your life. And of course, Jeff took action. And when Jeff has great grandkids and great great grandkids, I'm sure they're going to be getting a check from a trust fund. And they're certainly going to know that their great grandfather took action on an idea that he had, that he harnessed cutting edge technology, and he acted on it. This is J.D. Rockefeller. Started out as a clerk, super organized, had a produce business. And when he saw the oil revolution coming, he knew that he had to act quick. He used his power of organization to build a refining process and ultimately own the land underneath and created the world's greatest family office ever. Rockefeller descendants are receiving checks to this day because he had the foresight to act as an industrialist. So that's Rockefeller. Example number 2. Example number 3 is one of my favorite examples. This is Warren Buffett. And when Warren Buffett buys a company, he uses something called optionality. And optionality means that the upside of his decision is incredibly high and the downside is incredibly low. So I'm telling this because I'm going to liken everything to you and your AI endeavors, like the optionality of your AI efforts to become certified and ultimately launch a business or launch a service or launch your own self into your corporation or apply it to a business, whatever it is for you, has so much upside and almost no downside. So when Buffett bought a company, he used to buy it for an amount of money that he knew he could sell it in a fire sale for. He'd buy it for cash. He had a strong cash position. And if he bought a company and applied the technologies that the Berkshire Hathaway had, and the company didn't turn around, he just flipped it and sold it for what it was worth. So think about it. You in your AI journey here, you're going to be learning things. And as you learn things, you're going to become better. No matter what happens in the future, you have upside and almost no downside. I'm going to congratulate you for that. I want to share with you one of my favorite books called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Naval Ravikant is an angel investor, very famous on Twitter. He has a lot of wealth building knowledge and wisdom. And Eric Jorgensen put it into a book called The Almanac of Naval. And this is all about leverage. So he talks about the levers of wealth creation, because let's face it, everybody here wants to enhance their own wealth. They want to make more money. You want to save money. You want to save time, but you really want to build wealth, which turns into freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of action, freedom from stress. So there are 4 levers of wealth creation. I want to teach them to you because you're going to use AI to deploy and launch all 4 at some point. Okay, the first one is the leverage of labor. You hiring someone, training them to do a system or a process for you, leveraging what you know into someone's labor. Okay, and if they show up on time and if they do what you're supposed to do and if they stay, that works out quite wonderfully. I've done this over 1,000 times in my life. I've had 600 people working with me and for me, and it is some great stories and there's some nightmare stories because you have the human error. Let's call it the human in the loop. The second lever is the leverage of capital. How do you leverage capital? Taking someone else's money and deploying it to your ideal. It's a wonderful opportunity to leverage money if you have something that's working and something that someone else believes in enough to give you your cash. It's a massive lever of wealth creation. The next one is the most incredible. It's leveraging code, leveraging computers, leveraging AI. Now, with agentic AI, you can even leverage your own software. Without being able to be a coder or write code or even think about how to write code, you don't need to, because you're going to know how to prompt an AI model to write the code for you and build applications and build software and leverage this code so you can make a big, big number. It's the best lever of all the levers. The last lever is media, leveraging media. And you can also use AI certainly to leverage media so that you can use AI to create content, to share your message, to convince people about what you're trying to do. You can use it to create trust and authority in any space. So it's very, very powerful. So code leverages money. It's one of the biggest levers you can think of. Think of all the great big companies. What do they have in common? Apple, Facebook, Google, they're all software companies. So with this training, you're going to be able to start your journey into the software business so that you can leverage code to create capital, to potentially hire labor, to create media, to build your business and your empire. This is a book that I wrote and published on January 15th, 2023. To my knowledge, it's the first book that was published on how to write a book with AI. It's called The 1 Hour Book. You'll see here it was a #1 bestseller in several categories. And the reason I'm telling you this is that the 1 Hour Book was my first big idea in AI. It's like, I'd love to write books, but I don't know how to write. I have lots of ideas. I have lots of concepts. And I have since written probably 50 books since 2023 for myself and my clients. I've written over 11 for myself. I have 5 I've written and not published yet. So when I have an idea, I can go instantly into AI and I can outline my concept. I can have the AI interview me about my idea. It will organize it into a concept. And before you know it, I'm a published author. And at our first AI event, which is right here in January 2023, I gave everybody a copy of the 1 Hour Book. And thousands of other people have a copy of my book. The reason I'm telling you this is that you can become published. You can use AI as a leverage to create authority, to create publish. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a concept that I call launch and iterate. So if you have an idea in your head, get it on paper. Have AI interview you, one question at a time. You can have it. We're going to teach you how to do this in the next session, where you could prompt it to become a journalist, and that journalist can interview you one question at a time. So you can take your idea that's fuzzy and messy and organize it and launch it and start to have it on paper, because once it's on paper, it becomes real. All right. So launch and iterate. Don't perfect and procrastinate. Do not let your idea die, because we're in the age of ideas and execution. Okay. This is part of my original presentation from 2023, but it's not changed a bit. These are the original slides. What do we have? Global recession, lots of unrest in the world, political issues, division, media going after each other. A lot of crazy stuff can happen now. This was a picture that Charles Ebbets took when they were building the Empire State Building, right? And this was in the New Yorker in 2014. You're going to lose your job to a robot, all right? So they thought AI and robotics was going to come and disrupt the world labor force, okay? Were they right? No, they were wrong. AI did not come after the labor force yet. It came after the experts. So here's the bad news. And this is an article from February 2023 to where we are today. Like, what industries has AI disrupted? Tech jobs, coders. Absolutely. You can now code without even going to a programmer school. You can code with a prompt. It's called vibe coding. Finance jobs. There are AI traders that are outperforming almost every analyst in the market. Education. People are learning languages. They are teaching with AI models. Like, it's making education reinvent itself because they're going to have to. Legal. I haven't hired a lawyer for anything insignificant in 3 years. I just had a dispute with one of my tenants. That was a 15-minute thing with AI. Art and designers. I don't hire designers anymore. I create AI images and arts. We're going to teach you exactly how to do that at a really high level. Accounting. AI has the ability to do a complex accounting. I used AI to help me with my tax returns. In 2023 in March, this is the 10 occupations that were going to be most disrupted by AI. And I think you can agree with me that a lot of these have been touched already, many of them on the brink of having to reinvent themselves. So why am I telling you all this? Because anytime something like this happens, there's a lot of good news, and it's in the opportunity. Forbes is saying by 2030, there's 97 million new jobs, right? And the people that are trained and certified in a method, in a process using AI technology, both agentic and generative AI, are going to be the people at the front of the lines for the good jobs, okay? To create your own business, you'll be at the front of the line. So this is an opportunity to recreate yourself. This is the mindset I'm going to be inviting you into as we go through this. Recreate yourself. Let me tell you, when I was sick, I went from CEO of a 8-figure business with a 7-figure income to being put on the end of a liver transplant waiting list and told I'd be dead in 6 months, right? So I lost all of my status, most of my friends, almost all my money, and I got a miracle to save my life. And you know what was the best part about that? was the opportunity to literally, completely, and totally reinvent myself. I wanted to go from a business that was highly manual and highly local to a business that allowed me to work from anywhere on earth. I live in Puerto Rico right now. I live right on the water. I travel all over the world. My laptop comes with me with my flip-flops, and I can do business anywhere on earth. I wanted to make money while I was living. I wanted to build a lifestyle that my business revolved around, not the other way around like most people do. Most people have their business and their lifestyle revolves it. So I didn't want to rehabilitate myself, which means to repair or restore back to the original condition. I wanted to recreate myself. And that means make something new that has never existed before. So when you recreate yourself using AI, you open up all kinds of doors. I read Gary Keller's book called The One Thing. And in The One Thing, he talks about focus. He talks about dominoes and your change the world domino, like this big, big domino that you want to knock over. So this is a metaphor about how the 2-inch domino can knock over another 2-inch domino, and it can do that over and over and over again. The physiology and the physics is when a domino is stored on its side and you stand it up, it's storing energy. Okay, when you move it forward, you're producing an amplification. Okay, so the energy that moves forward is greater than its own self. Okay, and when a domino is at rest, okay, this little domino here is the metaphor. So that's where you are now. Let's pretend that's a 2-inch domino. And if you set up a 2-inch domino and another one in front of it, it would go all the way, but it would never get to where you wanted to go. So in my world, I wanted to live anywhere on earth. I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to start writing books. I wanted to be a thought leader. I wanted to be respected because I frankly was pretty embarrassed and humiliated for what I went through. And I wanted to just get another chance. And with the domino concept, what it was where I am now, I have what's called action potential. Okay, a domino, when it's sitting at rest, has action potential. Remember that. When you push it forward, it has amplified force. It's actually moving at a rate greater than its own speed, meaning it can do more than just knock over itself. All right, so a 2-inch domino can knock over its own self. It would be here, it would end here, there'd be another 2-inch domino here. But did you know that a domino has enough action potential to knock over something 150% its own size? So it literally can knock over, a 2-inch domino can knock over a 3-inch domino, right? And a 3-inch domino can knock over a 4-inch domino. The reason I say that is when you're recreating yourself and you're building any business, you can't just go right to the winner. You got to take a logical step and line up your dominoes. So in this case, you're going to learn mindset, right? Then you're going to learn advanced prompting. Then you're going to learn images. Then you're going to learn video. Then you're going to learn a little bit about marketing, automation, application building, and so on. And as you go up that escalation or that ascension, you're more powerful, you're more productive, you're more dangerous. You can do more things. You can do them quicker. You can do them better. We all know this. This is the domino effect, and it's incredibly important when you're recreating yourself. So that leads me to a 4-step exercise I do at almost all my live events. So if I'm at a live event, I'll always carve up the room into 4 parts. I'll take 1 row up the left side, 1 row up the left middle, 1 row up the right middle, and the right side. Okay, and I tell them that they are to have 4 different types of jobs. The first group is the group that has an infinite amount of ideas. It can use AI like it had an entire board of directors giving you the best ideas. In fact, you could create a virtual board of directors, or you could have people like Elon Musk teaching you how to build products or giving you ideas. An AI could simulate that exchange, so you could take and ideate about anything. Okay. And by the way, that's where almost everything died in the old world. Everybody had an idea, but nobody executed on the idea. But now the second group can take that idea and instantly transform it into a product or a process or a program or a plan, whatever it is. Think about it. I want to write a book, right? I outlined the book, and in the second phase, I got it outlined and I got the book written. I transformed it from idea to reality. So I have a second group that can literally, a team that can transform my idea in books. I could have ghostwriters, journalists interviewing people, research assistants help me accumulate the book, all from my terminal with my computer. So think about this. This is very, very important. So I can think of an idea, I can turn it into reality, and then this is always the hard part. This is how I made my living my whole life. I can use AI to emulate and imitate the greatest copywriters of our time. Like the late, great Claude Hopkins, one of the great copywriters. I still use frameworks and formulas that I learned from his book, Scientific Advertising. He is dead, but AI knows how to write copy like him, which means I can tell AI to write copy like Claude Hopkins wrote, or Dan Kennedy, or Jay Abraham, or Gary Halbert. Any great copywriter of our time can be at your table. And then you can also use AI, agentic AI, to automate the distribution of your idea. All right. So it's like having an army of robots implementing your program. Think about the power of this. Becoming an AI industrialist, right? Leveraging everything, using AI, creating ideas, transforming them into a product, writing the words to sell so you can set up your websites, and then using agentic AI to automate and multiply the offer. So everything you need to do something to become an industrialist is right in front of your face. And we're going to give you everything you need to launch that. So one last thing, think about this. AI, trends are your friends. This was something I got from Wall Street. So you can always see a trend coming a mile away. So if you look at good trends and bad trends, you look at the printing press, you look at the steam engine, you look at the automobile, you look at the internet. These are all things that were massive disruptive trends. AI together wipes all four of these out, plus another 10. All right. But the people that took the action here, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Charles Schwab, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, these are the people that took the action. And you can too. And guess what? There is a tsunami of AI still coming. We haven't even seen anything yet. This is a big struggle right now, but you got to understand this. Again, I'll repeat. The people in the gold rush who sold the shovels made more money than the people looking for gold. So think about this. What level of infrastructure could you participate in because AI is happening? I believe it's training. I think the AI training industry and the AI coaching industry is wide open. That's why if you're interested, click the link to find out how to become a certified AI trainer, and you can learn, leverage, and launch a training business and a coaching business. We give you all the templates. We give you the acquisition models. We give you ways to do workshops and seminars and webinars. We also give you this course to resell or present on your own. So the wave is getting big and substantial. So I'm getting to the 13 shifts now. The 13 shifts to AI wealth creation. I'll go through these pretty quick. Shift number one is things that you used to do in months, you can now do in minutes. I wrote that book in an hour. From generative AI to agentic AI. From getting answers to getting robots and automations to do things for you. From scarcity of expertise to an abundance of accessible knowledge. You could bring any expert in the world to your conference table, ask them questions, and interact with them. It knows the body of work that almost everybody has done. You could program and train an AI model. So knowledge is not scarce anymore. From static tools to evolving collaborations, right? You can start, like my 1 hour books turn into the 1 hour book course, the 1 hour book webinar, the 1 hour book retreat. I made like 10 products with that product. So you can do like going from one product to an entire ecosystem, right? From reactive to proactive solutions. You don't have to wait around anymore. If you got a problem, you can solve it almost on the spot when you invite AI to the table. From individual production, I can do almost anything now. I literally barely ever call on anybody for an answer anymore. From one size fits all products to hyper-personalization. I can literally build a custom curriculum for almost anyone to learn almost anything in an hour. And I could charge them for that. I'm giving you ideas. From manual analysis to real-time insight. So the old days, you'd look at something and you'd grind it over. You can snap a picture of a document and have AI research it and give you content, give you feedback, give you advice, give you guidance, have it rewritten, all on the spot. From silo disciplines to cross-domain breakthroughs, this is unbelievable. Inviting that team of experts to create ideas, to build products, to write copy, to create automations is unbelievable. It can speak to anyone, anywhere on earth in any language. I've used AI as a translation tool to translate my videos. We have a certification in Spanish. I have a Bible app called Bible Launch that we have both in English and Spanish. It's an AI Bible accelerator that teaches people how to learn, leverage, and launch the Bible so it can be used for good. They can learn it and they can understand it and they can use it in their life. So it was a way I could do something that would have been a kind of hobby for me. I turned it into an application and a business with over 2,000 users. All right. From isolated systems to interconnected ecosystems, from limited creativity to machine augmented imagination. Right? These are just a few of the shifts you need to make in your mind. And the last one is the most important one, I think, is you need to get in on the software side of AI, from using AI to owning an AI. Right? I have 2 AI platforms and about 50 applications that I own and sell. So I'm literally an industrialist. Okay. I have one for copywriting in my systems, which I call the Atomic System. And then I also have one called Bible Launch. So I'm telling you this to impress upon you that you can learn, right, how to master communication and prompting, which we're going to teach you next. You can master the capabilities and understand the limits of AI by being in this community and staying plugged in. You can individualize AI to create a clone of yourself or a clone of an employee or an avatar that you need on your team. You can have a virtual focus group, a virtual board of advisors. You can discover what AI can do for you. AI can answer any question you ask it as well as it can and be used in your world. So also leveraging tools, right? We're going to teach you how to leverage existing tools in the market. We're going to teach you how to integrate AI into your daily work and decision-making. We're going to teach you how to use text to image, text to voice, text to video, text to application, right? Text to automation. These are all the things we're going to teach you. And then launching. We're going to coach you on how to launch, right? Amplify your value, 1000x to any organization. You got to bring your new skill and talent out for a little ride. A lot of people don't. You become the best kept secret in town. That's not helping anybody. You got to use AI to leverage your offer and products with media. And we teach you how to do that in this class. Creating products, creating services, creating processes. I'm going to do a showcase for you in a few of our modules, and I'm going to build a product from scratch in front of you. A to Z, something I could literally build and sell on the spot the same day. And I've done it so many times live, but I'm excited to do the showcase for you because we're going to teach you some processes, a few things. And then at the end of the first part of this module, we're going to show you what that means to a business owner or to a company, right? Or to your career. Okay. And turning these ideas into action quicker than ever. You're going to learn our model framework called the CREATE system. This is a framework to speak to the AI, not to create something, but to create anything. We'll see you there.